Hey guys, this is ShyGuyDan, and I'm feeling pretty fucking good tonight. Yeah, so let's get this shit started. House of the Dead Overkill, Episode 3, Ballistic Trauma. And you know what? I'm feeling a little saucy, so I think I'm gonna buy a new gun of some sort. I really want that one because I really feel like an automatic weapon would work out, but the minigun looks super tempting. But I don't know. Most of the time, miniguns in games have a need to cool down after being used often. So, um, hmm, I think we'll go with it. We'll give it a try. Um, buy the SMG. And do that. I'm going to upgrade this. Which one should I try first? So I've continued my Quentin Tarantino marathon, and I watched Pulp Fiction last night, and I really fucking love Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. And I wonder what the next one is going to be. I think it's a very underrated film by Quentin Tarantino called Four Rooms, with Tim Roth as the main. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Okay, yeah, I don't think a white hot bullet to the head is going to cure my anxiety. Well, I mean, I guess it would, but not the kind of cure that I'm looking for. I think I'll just stick with Prozac. Well, actually, on the other hand, I don't really like Prozac. Maybe some Xanax. I've never had Xanax. I'm not on drugs, by the way. I just take prescription medication, which I guess technically means I am on drugs, but it's prescribed. Irrelevant. I'm sorry, you probably couldn't understand any of that dialogue because, you know, it was in slow-mo. But I ain't got time to think. I just gotta shoot and pick up what I can. Okay, so that's how... How exactly do I switch weapons? Because... Is that... Interesting. Okay, it doesn't... Don't like the minigun. And the reason why I don't is because it takes a second to start shooting. after you click the button, while the handgun instantly shoots, which I guess that's pretty much like any minigun in a game. They always take just like a half a second longer to load up or to wind up, whatever. I guess I'm super picky with this, but you know, I gotta try it all out. Maybe it's where I've just gotten so used to just tapping the same button over and over and over. Then again, I'm sure it would probably be 10 times easier if I was actually using like a PlayStation Move controller. I'm not. I'm using a standard PS3 controller. So it really isn't the best thing with rail shooters, but you know, I don't really feel like buying a PlayStation Move controller right now, not until I get a little bit more money. I also plan on investing in an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive. I don't know which one I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna get the Rift because if I'm not getting them mixed up, I like the Rift's controllers better. So hopefully, but I am interested in getting some sort of VR headset for my PC. I just hope my computer will run it. I mean, it says that it's VR compatible, and I have a high-end PC, but here recently it's been super slow and lagging all the time. I recently bought Far Cry 5 for the PC. I bought the gold edition, and whenever I started playing it, I played it on the recommended settings. Brr. Anyways, I bought Far Cry 5, the gold edition, and I tried it. I attempted to play it on the recommended settings, which is 1080p. My computer is fully capable of running 4K quality games, but the recommended setting is 1080p, and it works for other games. Like I can play Doom, which is an extremely fast-paced action game. There's a lot of stuff going on the screen, and it's just complete chaos. And I can play that in 4K like it's nothing. I can play Grand Theft Auto 5, which is huge, takes a lot of power. I can play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I can play that. But for some reason, Far Cry 5 will not run right. It starts out okay, but then the frame drops are ridiculous. Like it'll go from 60 FPS down to like 15, and that's just, you just can't play that. It's just, and I've tried lowering the settings and tweaking the settings. I've tried to run it on the lowest, on 720. I've tried lowering it to the lowest setting that it can possibly go. Sorry, that it can possibly go, and it still won't play right, and I don't understand why. You know, I've got more than enough RAM. My graphics card is it's a very high-end graphics card. It's up to date. All my drivers are up to date. My computer's up to date. I have over 300 gigabytes 300 gigabytes free on my external hard drive, which is where I keep all of my Steam and Origin and GOG games and all that, and my emulators. And I have over 300 gigabytes free, so it's not a space issue. And on my actual computer, I have over 500 gigabytes free, so it's not a space issue either. And I don't understand why, and it's so frustrating. That's not the only game that it won't play, though. It won't play Assassin's Creed Origins either, and I've read that a lot of people have issues with that, and it does the same thing. It does the same thing as Far Cry does. There's a lot of frame drops, regardless of the settings that you put it on. And but for Far Cry 5, like, I've read that like nearly everyone is having like perfect. They're having a perfect run through of it. But yeah, and I don't understand why, and it's super frustrating. And I'm really worried and concerned that I'm gonna have to like replace my PC. I mean, and any of you PC gamers out there, you know that whenever you you dread the day that you're gonna have to do change shit in your PC. You dread the day that it's gonna become outdated. And the problem is, I can't figure out what's causing it to what's causing so many frame drops. It's not overheating either. It's got a fan inside of it, and anytime that I'm not using it, anytime I'm not using my PC, I turn it off. I turn it off while I'm sleeping, so it doesn't like run 24/7. And like I said, everything's up to date, and I don't understand why. So, Far Cry is one of my favorite series of all time, and the franchise is amazing in my opinion. I know a lot of people didn't like Far Cry 4 and Primal, but I loved it, and so I pre-ordered 5 on the PC, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I got frustrated and impatient, and I went and bought it digitally. I bought the standard edition on my Xbox One, and I've been playing it, and damn, I fucking love it. Let me just tell you, it is a great game. I didn't have any issues with 4 or Primal. To me, it didn't bother me that they were all very similar. I just, it didn't bother me. But at the same time, though, Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 is it is quite different. I mean, it's still, you can tell it's still a Far Cry game. There's still a lot of similar qualities from past games. They're not going to completely change it, but it is different. It is quite different, but it's great. I love it. The story's great so far. I'm over halfway done with it. I'm pretty sure I've taken down John and Faith Seed, and it's so good. The soundtrack is perfect. I mean, it's just like it's a great game. I recommend it to anybody, especially if you're into the first-person shooter genres. And if you were unsatisfied with Far Cry 4 or Primal, then I would definitely give 5 a try. So eventually, if I start consistently doing this again, I'm gonna get to Far Cry, and I'm gonna do the series. I own them all except for Far Cry Instincts and Far Cry Instincts Predator. I have Instincts Evolution, but I don't. I think that's the only one that I don't have, other than the Wii. The Wii game Far Cry. I don't know what it's called exactly, but I don't have that one. Don't know if I'll do that one or not. Super nervous about doing the very first Far Cry because I haven't actually played through that. I've tried to, but damn, that's a hard fucking game, man. But I've played Far Cry 2, 3, 4, Primal, and I'm in the middle of 5. And so far, I really, really, really love all of them. I also really like that they. I love the actor Greg Burke. I think that's how I think that's his name. Who plays as the main antagonist, Joseph Seed. He plays as the cult leader, and he does an amazing job. You know, I really wish that you could see more of him in the game. He's got plenty of screen time, but still, I wish there was more. He does a brilliant job. And that's not the first time that I've seen him. I mean, I've only seen him in one other production, which was, damn it, I missed that comic book. Anyways, which was Saw, one of the Saw movies. And I think, oh shit, I'm a huge Saw fan, but I can't remember which one it was. I think it's Saw 6, yeah, maybe no. Might be Saw 5, shit. Fuck, dude, I have no idea. Like, it's either way, he plays in one of them, and he plays as a burn victim who's caught in one of the traps, and so I recognize him from that. So for those of you who are horror fans, which I am, by the way, I'm a huge horror geek. I'm a huge film geek in general. But for those of you that are, and I'm speaking specifically to people who are Saw fans, how did you feel about Jigsaw? Like I'm not talking about specifically the character, I'm talking about the newest one, Jigsaw. Because I've always been a huge Saw fan. I've been a very loyal, I've been a loyal fan. I've loved every single one of them that they put out, except for Jigsaw. Maybe I'll let one of these get up close so you can see what it looks like. Come on. Ugly little thing, isn't it? But yeah, what did you think about that? Because I personally, to be honest, and it really surprised me, but I actually did not like it. I mean, I didn't hate it by any means, but I thought it was actually, for once, I thought that it was unnecessary. I thought it was an unnecessary sequel, and I was really excited for it too, but it didn't add anything to the story. They took away a lot of what I felt like was needed for a Saw film, specifically like the cinematography. If you watch it and then watch the other ones, they've completely taken away, just the feel of Jigsaw. The feel of the Saw movies, pardon me. And it just felt like an unnecessary sequel. I mean, and I'm afraid that they are going to ruin it. I feel like they're going to ruin the direction that they're going. I feel like they're going to ruin future Saw films, because they're going to continue making more. They've already said that. And then again, just keep in mind, though, when I say that, I know a lot of people think that they ruined it after 3. But I loved 4, 5, 6, and 7. But I feel like that it's not going to be any good because obviously, you know, Jigsaw, the character, John Kramer, I mean, he's dead. He's not coming back. And I mean, I know he died in the third one, but they were still able to include him, include his backstory, and still make it interesting. And they were still able to develop his character, even though he was already dead. But with Jigsaw, I really don't feel like that they did that. The only thing that I felt like that they did was they slightly humanized him a little bit more. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but in the twist, you kind of near the end of the movie, you see that he can be merciful, which to me, he was already human. I mean, yeah, even though he kidnaps and forces people to torture themselves or die, pretty much. But still, you know, I don't think that he's a classical sociopath or a psychopath. He just kind of lost his mind after, you know, what happened, which I won't go into that if you haven't seen any of the Saw movies, and if you haven't, you know, don't know what to tell you about that. You're missing out. Especially if you're a horror fan. But kind of looks like my ex-girlfriend. Screamer. She's actually, in my opinion, she's one of the easiest bosses. Especially if you have grenades, because yeah, I don't think a bullet is going to do much damage to her face, but if you like throw a grenade right here when she summons up the other mutants, it makes it so much easier. It just clears them out all at once, and it also takes her armor, I guess you could say, down. Oops. But anyways, she's a super easy boss. I guess they had to add some sort of like witch grudge like mutant in this, speaking of which. I actually do not like any, well, I can't say I do not like, I've just never really been interested in any of the Grudge films. I remember watching them, I ran out of grenades. Anyways, I remember watching them watching the first one as a kid, and to be honest, it just, truthfully, Didn't do anything for me at all. The Ring and the Ring 2, and I mean the American versions, those, see, super easy. Those actually creeped me out a hell of a lot more than The Grudge ever did. But I love those films, by the way. The Ring and The Ring 2. I didn't really like the third one, Rings. Once again, I felt like it was kind of similar to Jigsaw in the sense that it wasn't necessary. I didn't hate it. That is obviously a Samuel L. Jackson parody. I had Chinese today. Yeah, Isaac, he is definitely a maybe not even a parody, but like what's the word I'm looking for? He's a calling, a throwback, a parody, a shit. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, I can't think of it. Either way, man, he's pretty much the game character version, the game version of Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, yeah. But anyways, well, thank you for watching. And next time, we're going to be doing Carney, which that I can think of right now. I think that's my favorite. It's my favorite level. Anything having to do with clowns. I know that a lot of people are like terrified of clowns. I almost said crayons, clowns, but they interest me. Like, it's like a train wreck, like a bad train wreck. You know, you don't want to look at it, but it's so weird and horrifying that you're interested in it. You know, you can't look away. And that's how clowns are for me. They just intrigue me, especially if you get to kill them and they're zombie clowns. That's fucking awesome. But, alright, I'll get off here, and thank you for watching. If whatever poor soul enjoys my awkward, anxiety-ridden commentary, whoever likes it, you know, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. So, this is ShyGuyDan, and I'll see you on the other side.